Spider-Man has always had a special and deep place within my heart. I mean, just growing up as a kid, I've always been in love with superheroes, and obviously, like anyone else, seeing Spider-Man swing around from building to building, stick to walls, and fight a creative code of villains within his rogue gallery, it had my jaw dropped and had stars sparkling within my eyes. I was raised on the animated Spider-Man shows, Spectacular, Ultimate, even the MTV new animated series, which I still believe to this day holds the most underrated and underappreciated portrayal of Peter, voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. But the animated shows weren't the only appeal I had to the web slinger, because out of all the media that Spider-Man has, my most favorited to engage with is easily the many video games he has. From absolute cinema and peak of games like Shattered Dimensions, Web of Shadows, and Edge of Time, to the mediocrity games like Friend or Foe or TASM 1, to even the what's now utter garbage that I've sadly played too many times to count, TASM 2. You usually gotta feel bad for Andrew Garfield, man. But jokes aside, I do like the voice for Peter in the TASM games.
This is your fault! You gotta help me!
I had to help you? You tased me, bro!
I want to take time to talk about what seems to be the definitive version for Spider-Man games we have today. I decided to go back and revisit the Insomniac Spider-Man 2018 game, or, well, the PS5 remaster port, just to see if it holds up as well as I remembered back in... Oh my gosh, I was 12 when the game came out? Immediately when I started the game, the memories of my first playthrough came washing upon me like an anime flashback. Remembering the feeling I had when I first played the game, the opening music, the seeing the classic Spider-Man suit, I just felt like a kid again, and the PS5 remaster did a great job in displaying a more vibrant and life display to the game feeling. Granted, I'm on what seems to be the wrong side of history when it comes to the PS5 face model, in the sense of I still think the PS4 one is far more superior.
Oh yeah, my whole life is changed since you came in. I knew back then you were that special. I'm so in love, so deep in love, that you came into my life. You are so sweet, no one compete, and you get into the light. You blind me with your love. I
don't know, I don't have anything against the PS5 face, but he's just not like, I don't know, he's kind of un-Peter-like, if that makes sense. It's just the old face model gave us what Insomniac Peter is. He looked like a veteran, mid-20s Peter Parker. His face, in my opinion, it captivated that more than the new face does. Now, I know the reason why they changed the face. They wanted Peter's facial structures and lip movements to match up with Leary Lowenthal's voice, but I still think the old face model was better, so hey, sue me. Also, is it just me, or does the old face just have better shading and all around look more in tune with the character in scenes and honestly just everything compared to the new one? It just can't be me, right? I'm sorry, like, PS4 Peter, just know I miss you every single day. But anyway, enough talking about Peter's face, let's get back to the game. Returning back to the game, which 7 years later, after going to the stages of both Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 a couple years ago, I was fully prepared to have the traversal mechanics be a complete drug and slug to get through. I knew that machine-wise, downgrading from Miles' diving,
the way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
In Spider-Man 2's complete peak of travel mechanics, Spider-Man 1 was going to be noticeably and honestly, and it was. I'd be lying if I said I didn't notice a difference. In fact, multiple times did I find myself trying to input moves and use fighting mechanics that don't exist yet because I'm just so used to Spider-Man 2's gameplay. But after a while, around the first hour mark, I quickly got used to the original gameplay again, and in all honesty, it's not that bad. It still holds up, it's still extremely fun to swing around a Spider-Man and take pictures, and boy does that square flip button do a lot of work to keep me engaged and entertained. Speaking upon the story, I honestly forgot how much I really enjoyed it. I remember reading some tweets saying somewhere that Insomniac Spider-Man is the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time, and I honestly can't disagree. From the get-go of taking down Fisk and learning and discovering secrets about Martin Lee and the demons, I was immediately captivated into the world that Insomniac put me in. The game's flow of storytelling between cutscenes to transitions to continued dialogue from a prior cutscene to a phone call, it just makes the game flow at this calming pace where I can keep up with everything. And the cast as well is easily way more memorable than Miles and Spider-Man 2's. From characters like Yuri, Aunt May, Martin Lee, Otto Octavius, Norman Osborn, Silver Sable, her, I'll get to you later. No one in the Spider-Man cast feels out of place within the story, and better yet, they don't seem to outshine Peter in any way. They perfectly revolve around Peter and his decisions, making the player feel the weight of each and every one of Peter's choices, dictating why said character is going to feel a certain way about Spider-Man or Peter. Also, quick side note, speaking about differences between Peter and Spider-Man, can we just talk about how vastly different they look in terms of muscle mass? Like when Peter's Spider-Man, every muscle fiber in this dude's body seems to be bulging out of his suit. I mean, look at his biceps and abs.
Wait, googly moogly.
But when he's casually just Peter Parker, he suddenly loses 40 pounds of muscle. Now, of course, I know secret identity, yada yada yada, and this is nothing more but a mindless tangent, but this is a little ridiculous, right? I mean, at his grown age, Peter can't just start saying he's been doing push-ups or got a gym membership. Anyway, returning back to the topic of the story, what Insomniac Spider-Man does amazingly is showcases its story, and what I mean by this is once you're invested, you are invested. The game has a multitude of main story missions and side missions to choose from to take time and invest in. Things like Harry's Oscorp labs, or Spider-Man's nostalgic backpacks that give us Easter eggs and references to his time as Spider-Man in high school. Even photography missions where we take pictures of actual New York landmarks and references to the world of Marvel as a whole. What Insomniac did well in this game, which I have to give them my applause for, is the world building. It truly feels like an established Marvel universe, even if we don't see other heroes in the world like the Avengers or Daredevil. Granted, Wolverine is coming out with the game this year, so who knows. But tying my discussion of side characters back into the topic of the game's storytelling, I think what I love about this game the most is its characters. Each character in the cast is so important to the story. While yes, Peter spends most of his time dealing with Martin Lee as the main villain, in the background of the storytelling of Otto descending into madness is so beautifully written. It leaves us feeling both sympathetic for the man and even forgetting that he's in fact one of Peter's greatest foes. And that feeling in the back of your head knowing he's going to become Doc Ock at some point, it just never leaves and pays off so well for the Sinister Six to get introduced. Also the villains, man, the villains, I gotta talk about them, and I need to say, Insomniac did a really good job by not only using some of Spider-Man's iconic catalog of villains, but adapting them and rehashing them to make them feel more original and unique to the world they build. Having Rhino and Scorpion be put in these technological suits of armor, Electro and Vulture have upgraded tech designs, and Shocker, and Doc Ock's eerie look of creepy yellow-black arms. It seems like tech is a huge thing when it comes to this game, not gonna lie. But there's also more classical villains like Tombstone, who you can actually fight in a side mission tie-in, or Martin Lee, who, like I already said, is so well written with his backstory centered around Osborn and Otto. Silver Sable herself was a great addition to the game, and unlike the serious antagonist role she plays in the comics, where it comes to her private military, here she's more of, I don't know how to put the word, kind of like foreign, if that's not offensive. The Sable International Group play a good role of jerk task force members, which is scarily realistic to what we have going on now. If you know, you know. We even get references to other villains that we don't actually see, like Black Cat, Hammerhead, Sandman, Mysterio, the Chameleon. It was all great nerdy stuff that had me pointing at the screen and just going. The Insomniac Spider-Man games have this thing where at the end of the second act, going into the third act, the city always ends up in this full-blown crisis, and I think the first game has my favorite way of telling and answering why it happens. After Peter gets absolutely curb stomped by the Sinister Six and Doc Ock makes his grand appearance, the inmates of the raft come pouring into the city in waves, and it amazingly captivates the overwhelming pressure that Peter is faced with. Endless crimes, monstrous waves of bunkered down inmates, stable camps, all great side missions that leave you actually thinking, when is it going to end? It's better the second time around too, where I find myself thinking, man, Peter sure does have it rough right now. Also, when I was playing the game, I don't know if it's me, but I remember Martin Lee being prevalent in the game way more before his reveal actually. I mean, I swear that man wasn't immediately evil off the get-go. Like, I swear I saw my face a few times before his major reveal of being a bad guy, but hey, age could just be getting to me. I mean, I did play this game 7 years ago. Deciding to speak on the gameplay mechanics, the boss fights in this game are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they truly make you feel like you're playing a comic book game. The fight with Shocker in the bank, the Tombstone fight in the garage, fighting Electro and Vulture at the steel mill, Martin Lee's fight in the subway and the lab, like the decision for stage design and the choreography is so damn good. In the fight against Doc Ock on the building, man, whoo, oh my gosh.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I'm saying this right now, Yuri Lowenthal is easily tied for the best Spider-Man voice right next to Josh Keaton. The way he's able to display Peter's emotions, whether he's swinging or fighting or just downright angry or upset, I mean, I love to just swing around and just hear him talk while he's swinging in a phone call or a dialogue or anything truly.
Whether they understand it or not.
No, you're wrong! You were everything I wanted to be! You just threw it away! Yes, of course. You're right, Peter. Oh, I see that now. The neural interface affected my mind. But I can fix it. We can fix it. Together. If you'll help me. Do everything I can. I'll make sure you get the best help. No! If they put me away, they'll take my arms! I'll be trapped in this useless body! Please, Peter. That wasn't me. You said you'd never abandon me. You promised. Remember? And of course, you rest easy, knowing your secret is safe with me. You do what you think is best, Doc. It's all any of us can. Peter? Even when it hurts like hell. Peter, where are you going? Peter? Peter!
Also, J. Jonah Jameson, oh my gosh, I truly forgot how much I love the podcast clips in the first game compared to the second.
Jared! Call my doctor and double all my prescriptions! I'm in the red here, folks. Eyewitnesses have confirmed that there is no longer just one Spider-Man, but two of them! I mean, one is bad enough, but I'm having a hard time dealing with the idea of multiple menaces swinging through our beautiful city. It's just... Jared, I might be having a heart attack. I need to lie down, folks. No, don't call an ambulance. It's too expensive. Call a cab. I have a coupon in my wallet. Don't go in my wallet, Jared. I'll do it. I'll do it!
Those segments are always so funny to listen to, and I love how they're just usually a tie-in to the events Peter just went through. I wish there was an option where you could go back and play all the clips and segments just in case you missed anything, because I find myself listening to a clip and then I'm going to go fight a crime, and then that crime kind of just abruptly ends my clip. So I wish there was something where you could just go back and see the clips again. Speaking of which, going through my gameplay, I did notice a few small features being missed that I had to actually turn on due to me being on PS5 now compared to a PS4, and the PS5 is just so advanced, these features are kind of pointless. Fast travel, for example. Back in the old games when you fast travel through the subway, you get these loading screens of Spider-Man interacting with people on the train, whether it was listening to music or scrolling on his phone or talking to a fanboy. That's just all great world building. But since the P5 is so advanced, the first couple of fast travels I hadn't noticed. I didn't go through the cutscenes until I turned on the option. Dang man, curse my PlayStation for being so advanced. But also the social media feature, I didn't notice how much I missed it until I noticed I had it again, because the stuff people were posting on there is truly ridiculous. Alright, I have been dreading to get to this part of the video, but no more. No more can I beat around the bush, and no more can I run away from my problems. I have to face them head on, so here I go. Mary Jane. Yeah, I'm not talking about the drugs. No, not the pre-ODM Mary Jane that everyone loved and knows. No, not the current comic version of her, which is purely a mockery to the character that Stan Lee has created. Alright man, that's just Lois Lane. Yep. There she is. Look, I love Laura Bailey, okay? Her voice acting is truly one of one, and she's my definitive voice when it comes to Black Widow, without a doubt. Which is why MJ's portrayal in Insomniac games completely pains me to my core. I think she's a total waste of Laura Bailey's voice acting skills. Simply reheating Lois Lane nachos and slapping a red wig on the character and calling it a day isn't creative at all. In fact, the whole idea of making Mary Jane Watson a reporter is extremely lazy, and I hate it, especially considering the fact that Peter has already worked for the Daily Bugle as a photographer or photojournalist, so while not the same thing at all, we've already been down that road before. Now why is Marvel so afraid of making MJ the supermodel actress we know her as? I think it makes MJ and Peter's relationship dynamic so much more better. Having her be the breadwinner while she gets all the fame and Peter's a no bill paying bum who needs a superstar wife to pay the bills for him. Seriously, I can think of multiple ways of having MJ be actually MJ and not Lois Lane 2.0 makes her in-game character way better. Having MJ use her mass modeling of a fan base in the social media feature in the game to show debates of fans supporting Spider-Man and not J. Jonah Jameson is just, it's so much more better. You can even throw Easter eggs in the game too, have her show to be pro-mutant along with her fans or just anti-Sable Task Force. See, there's just so many ways you can do this. Now, this is a discussion that's been going on for years about why game MJ sucks and why she's a total drag, so I'm not going to add more fuel to the fire. I'm just going to say, bring back Supermodel MJ. Peter misses his wife. Another character I've been beating around the bush with is Miles, but I'm going to make another video about the DLC of the game, and that'll include my opinions about the exaggerated black teen with swagger, so just stay tuned for that. Final thoughts on my revisit of Insomniac Spider-Man. It's just as spectacular as I remembered, probably even better, maybe even ultimate, or spectacular better than ultimate, I don't know. I knew before, but I'm even more understanding now why this is a pinnacle of Spider-Man games for people. From the cinematic action sequences, the overall well writing of the story, the character arcs not only Peter goes through, but side characters like Otto and Sable, and even though he's not the main villain, the way Norman Osborn just haunts the narrative knowing he's going to become the man he's going to be is just... The game was truly revolutionary for its time, and it's actually made me excited even more to pick up the next installments of the series, which I will be making videos on in the future. So finally, Insomniac Spider-Man was one hell of a ride, and I cannot wait to complete the DLCs and continue the story.
On me, house so big I feel lonely. Started in them women too clean. We drugs we giving different mood swings. We kiss and fuck but it ain't no strings. I don't never cuff, we do our own thing. Only trusting that's why I got my own thing. We been leading, I feel like a long drink. Speed it up, I wanna OD. They been take a truck, feel like it's floating.